Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at Mana to kind of see what's going on. Obviously, it's a very good day here today, and I've got a lot of requests for this one, so we'll figure we'll just go ahead and cover it really quick. I've got a lot of other things I need to take care of, so we'll just try to make this as quick as possible. You're currently not a community member, consider joining. I have a website, CryptoCache.tech, help you understand becoming a better trader every step of the way. I also send out signals so you know how to structure your trades more effectively in any kind of climate, right? Shorts, longs, futures, whatever. I cover that. All right, so taking a look here at Mana. Simply put, we're back up over the 50-day simple moving average. This is the same for a lot of coins. However, Mana is doing very well, so we want to kind of identify that. But being over the 50 is a really important thing because I was holding the price action down for the last 4 days. Okay, so good stuff there in that sense. I like to see that. Ultimately, we bounced off of 50 on the RSI for lack of better terms as well, which is extremely important. We're still considered bullish for Mana. We are effectively also making higher highs and higher lows. So this is extremely important. So we want our next high, of course, to be somewhere above 355. That'd be ultimately the best, so we can have continuation of higher highs and higher lows. We could also settle for a consolidation right around $3.40, so we could effectively have this, continuation pattern with a breakout to the upside. That's a possibility as well. But all in all, I like what I see here so far. Looking very good here for Mana on the one-day chart. Another thing to note too, we had a bounce off of the convergence. So instead of diverging, so to speak, on the MACD, it effectively converged. So that's a very, very good sign as well. So all good stuff here. All paths lead to Rome here in this scenario, right? Mana's doing very good. And in that sense, we want to look at the 4-hour, kind of identify if we're overextended or not. Because this is something that we are overextended on the 4-hour with Bitcoin. So it's important to acknowledge because yes, it has proven to do very well on the 4-hour time frame as far as previous increases. It's defied the laws of trading a few times before. I don't think we should expect that to happen again, just based on the simple fact that we want to be realistic with ourselves, right? Bitcoin still hasn't given us full-on confirmation that it can break a key level resistance zone of 46 to 50. So at this point right now, how much longer is this going to last? Well, let's just be realistic and think about this openly. Typically, when you see a 9 on TT sequential, you can expect a turnaround, right? We're at an 8 right now. So yes, this is all very well and good, but keep in mind Bitcoin right now is consolidating / retracing. Mana is effectively increasing. That's a very, very good sign. Doesn't mean it's broken free from Bitcoin. Don't get that wrong. It's just that it's doing very well independent of Bitcoin for the moment. That's an important sign. If we can continue this, of course, then we'll have a very, very good situation where the price should continue to increase. So I think the likelihood of Mana moving up versus down is higher right now based on the overall sentiment, less fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Again, with all the news and everything happening in the world, we didn't get any crazy, ridiculous news yesterday like we were expecting, right? Good stuff there. More neutral, essentially, and we're okay. Just keep in mind, something happens with the news. There's nothing you can do to control this. All the best TA in the world doesn't matter if the news is negative and everyone pulls the trigger and pulls the plug, right? The whales are the ones controlling the market, and right now they're wanting Mana to go up, and that's important. Okay. So good stuff there in that sense. But we are at an 8, okay? So just keep in mind we have potential of 4 to just say 20 hours at best of continuation to the upside, right? So just please understand that we're not out of the woods yet, but we are back up over the 50-day SIP moving average, which I think is extremely important as well. Now it hasn't officially closed over that, right? This is a new candlestick. This candlestick opened roughly an hour and a half ago. So we still have about 2 hours left. If the price comes down and closes below that, it'd be a different story. Okay. But the key here is if we can consolidate closer to this resistance at about 320, keep the price action there for a little while longer, we should and could expect to see this continuation of the upside, right? We never know, of course, but it's looking much better than not. Just note that we should expect a pullback from either, well, we're experiencing a pullback right now for Bitcoin, and we should expect one for Mana as well, okay? Because again, even though it's doing very well in the last 2 or 3 hours and Bitcoin's kind of consolidating / retracing, that doesn't truly mean that we're totally free and clear, right? We need more time to establish that. I can tell you, if we get 2 or 3 more days of green candlesticks from Mana and Bitcoin is in the red or just going straight sideways, that's a good indication. We're a little premature at this point, but keep in mind also, Mana has done very well in the recent past, contrary to Bitcoin in that sense. It's gone higher when Bitcoin goes high, and it's only sold off recently because we had a lot of that uncertainty and doubt in the market based on the news, right? That affects things. So just please be aware of that. But all in all, everything's good here. We're over 50, under 70 on the RSI. That's fantastic. We had a MACD convergence yesterday at roughly 1 p.m., which is very, very synonymous with Bitcoin's increase as well. It's just that we're slightly delayed. We're about 4 hours behind Bitcoin right now. Okay. So again, I don't feel like we're totally free and clear, but I think we're in very good shape here to see continuation of the upside in the general sense, more so on the macro, not necessarily on the 4-hour. I think we should experience some kind of sideways action or retracement soon. I don't think it's going to be significant, but as long as we can make, as long as the next low isn't anything lower than 285, we should be in good shape to make higher highs and higher lows continuously. Okay. So again, I think we're going to still stay in this range. I don't think we're going to regress completely, but all in all, mana is looking very good in the general sense of all the TA that we've seen here so far. Last thing we want to look at here, of course, is just TD sequential in the 1 hour. We can see we came up to an 8, got a reset, back up to a 5, down to a 4, up to a 2. Really, that just tells us we're making higher highs and higher lows in the 1 hour, which is extremely important. And that leads to higher highs and higher lows in the 4 hour chart, right? Which translates into higher highs and higher lows in the 1 day. So again, good micro leads to good macro. And ultimately, all three charts are telling us good things here. This isn't overextended. This is that healthy staircase pattern I like to talk about in my community and just in general my videos, right? I tell all my members, hey, make sure you look for a good staircase pattern. We do not want a parabolic increase. Any other YouTubers telling you parabolic is good, they're wrong. Unless you set accurate, realistic targets, then there's no reason to be excited about that. And once again, most people do not set 3 profit targets and a trailing stop loss. I do that in every single trade that I take. I recommend you do the same as well, or adopt that similar philosophy, because it's really important to know where you're heading with your trade before you get into it, okay? Make sure you cross-reference everything to ensure dot all the T's and, cross all the T's and dot all the I's, and make sure you know exactly, if this trade meets your personality, your risk tolerance, and your expectations, okay? You should always do your own due diligence. Don't just jump in because somebody else tells you to, okay? Never do that. Make your own decisions. Regardless of that fact, mana is looking very good on the 1 hour. It's not overextended by any means. We've had these nice continuations. So for lack of better terms, we could really see another 7-8 hours more of continuation on the upside before mana slows down. So, ultimately we're looking very good there. So let's go ahead and talk about that, because once again, Ichimoku cloud, we're free and clear. This is a perfect cloud. I love to see that. Okay, so all good stuff here. Literally, we've seen nothing adverse from mana. Okay, so we're looking very, very good there. Why don't we see here? Go ahead and take a look at big picture here really quick and just kind of see what a best case scenario would look like here, right? So why don't we go ahead and redraw out these lines here and just help understand. You know what? We're going to leave that the way that it is, because I think we're still in good shape here. Let's do this here. Let's talk about best case scenario and then go from there. I'll reevaluate and make sure we reestablish these lines again soon. Once again, once we pass the line of 320, we'll be in good shape there. What I'm getting at is that 468, based on the last however long we've seen this for, right? So we've seen this time frame. This is roughly from the lowest point on January 22nd to the most recent highest point, which was the 9th. We saw a 108% increase, right? So best case scenario, just say, again, this is best case scenario. We could see a price range somewhere in the range of $5.45 by either month end or mid-November. So November, I apologize, I misspoke. Mid-March, right? And again, that's better case scenario. So don't walk away from this conversation hearing that. But what I'm getting at is it took roughly 3 weeks of continuation, 108% growth in roughly 3 weeks, or 2.5 weeks roughly. So hypothetically, we continue on this trend, break free from Bitcoin, and of course, we see we see Bitcoin break 46,000 and or 50,000, then yeah, we're going to see somewhere in the range of $5 again from mana. It's extremely likely. But what needs to happen between now and then is to break this key level resistance here of right around 340/360. That's going to be the resistance zone that we're going to face a little bit of trouble with, okay? So just be in mind, we're getting close to that. If we were to break free from that, it would be excellent. Go, just kind of shoot straight through, it would be nice. And if we take a look at the volume too, let's go ahead and just evaluate this. We have the most amount of volume right at the current price point. It's a very, very good sign, but also keep in mind too, just above the price point, about 340, which is coincidentally that same resistance zone I just identified, there's a lot more volume as well, okay? So that'll work as a resistance. If we can break past that plane, we'll be in pretty good shape, okay? So I would say a close above 360 and Bitcoin going sideways, mana will look very, very good, okay? So again, I'll keep a close eye on this here soon, of course, to identify, but just bear in mind on the short term here, the micro, we're looking a little overextended. It's not terrible. We're at an 8 on TT sequential on the 4 hour. We can expect some kind of pullback in the next trading day. But the micro is telling us we've got about 9 hours, maybe somewhere in the range of 7 to 11 hours worth of continuation of the upside. There's a potential there, okay? Again, pending no craziness of the news, mana should be in pretty good shape to continue to the upside. So I'm not telling you to go all in. I'm just telling you to be careful and cautious, and obviously add to your position if you'd like to, of course. But I would not, again, I don't recommend this on anything. Until we get full on confirmation Bitcoin's back on track, there's no reason to go all in on anything, right? You dollar cost average effectively. You only use small positions and small portions of your portfolio, so you don't get wrecked if these things turn around. Okay, and if heaven forbid they were to turn around, if you have a nice tight trailing stop loss, you'll be in good shape. It'll adjust as you hit your profit targets, which is why you always set at least 3 profit targets per trade. I cover all this in my trading academy, so if you're not currently a community member, consider joining CryptoCache.tech as a website. Website's almost fully live as far as its functionality. We'll have that figured out this month, of course. But for right now, it allows you to register as a member, of course, if you'd like to consider that. And I send out, once again, signals for every single trade that I take, so you know how to structure a trade in this type of market. All right, we'll look forward to seeing the next video. Thanks again so much for your time. You have a good rest of your day. We'll talk to you later.